Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Scrawler box. Let's find out what's inside without showing you my address. Nope, I always get the pull tab thing wrong. It's supposed to be easy, right? Click, click. Oh, look! A girl and a fish. I wonder what we could be doing for a theme. Oh, a zine? What? Watercolor paper. Okay, hold on. 2020 zine. Well, that just ruined what's in the thing. But, okay, I'm gonna look at this in a minute. Pretty artwork. Angela Schulte. Angelica, sorry. Illustrator based in Germany. Awesome. Art Fusion. A nice pad of watercolor paper. Ooh, and it's textury. I like that. Candy. It is a Werther's banana split. I'm allergic to banana. Probably shouldn't eat that. Let's destroy all the tissue. I find it interesting that they've been hiding the print in the sticker lately. I'm not sure if I like it, because I liked when they were doing the medium. I don't know how I feel about them doing the actual print. Yeah. So, watercolor pencils. Green, red, brown. There are honkers too. Look how big that is. I'm not sure if I have a pencil sharpener for that. Derwent Sketching HB, not water soluble. Pro Rate Polar Nylon White. I've actually been really enjoying the brushes that they've given me in SCRAWLRBOX. Mostly because I'm really bad at buying new brushes when mine start going out. And then we have, I'm assuming, watercolor markers. So a yellow and a blue. There's kind of a brush tip and more of a bullet tip. Same thing over here. I'm assuming. Get brush tip, bullet tip. What do we have? Daydreamer. Ooh. It's all about watercolors, but not in the normal sense. Why am I singing? So, 3 watercolor pencils, a watercolor brush, 2 watercolor markers, 8 sheets of watercolor paper. This pretty thing. I mean, I am doing mermaid, but we'll get there. And then April 2020 zine. So it ruined for me the materials. I really wish they would have given a little warning, even if it was just like a sticky note on the outside of it. Like, warning, spoilers, because we hadn't had one of these yet. But what are you gonna do? So, all the materials, telling me some stuff about them. Some more information about the artist. I like this. We've got some questions. The artist has answered. This is kind of neat. And tips with the materials from the artist. I wish I had that green. That's pretty. But that's really cool. I appreciate this a lot. Also, from the SCRAWLRBOX gallery. Oh, how cool would it be if I was in here? I need to make sure I properly post my SCRAWLRBOX stuff from now on. And some information about the trees. I wonder if this is gonna be a normal thing. If it is, it's kind of neat. I'm excited to sit down and read this. So, we've got Daydreamer, we've got these materials. It's gonna be fun. Let's see how this looks. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Before I get too much into it, I want to let you know that this SCRAWLRBOX was 100% cursed. I created one artwork first, and it started out really strong. I don't know what happened. It turned really poopy really quickly. I might cut out like the bottom right-hand corner because I really liked it. Then I created this artwork that you guys are seeing now, and my camera cut out. I didn't notice, and I finished the whole piece. Then I created a third artwork, and while fun to create, it looked worse than the first one. So, yeah. Talking about this art piece specifically, the one that I really enjoyed, I wanted to lean into mermaid, and I wanted to do kind of a mersona. Having the blue and the green and the yellow, of course, made me want to do my little persona, because those are the colors, and it looked really good. So I was going to be self-indulgent, which I'm allowed. You're allowed. We're all allowed to be self-indulgent every once in a while, and draw myself. I have drawn me as a mermaid before, and I had given myself a Leopleurodon body because dinosaurs are cool. And the last time I had drawn myself, I had drawn myself in proper mermaid fashion, topless. And I didn't want to just draw, you know, my mammal parts flapping in the currents. So I strategically placed a friendly plesiosaur to cover up my mammalian bits. And I originally thought about doing that with this piece before I suddenly remembered that I have a lot of former students and such who follow my YouTube, and suddenly felt very, very aware of my audience. So I put the strategically placed plesiosaur in again, but then wound up putting on my normal shirt and jacket. Plus I had the yellow and the colors, so I might as well do it, right? Anyway, the graphite pencil had a very thick lead no matter how much I tried to sharpen it, so that gave me some trouble. I mean, you've got a nice dark line, but I really like drawing with mechanical pencils. I do, unless I want to do pencil shading, but sketching out the really fine light line is kind of nice, and it properly erases when you want it to do that. The watercolor pencils are super pigmented and really do melt down a lot and do kind of what you want them to do if you push them. In my later piece, I actually did some super thick lines where I dipped the pencil itself in the water and then drew with it. And I had to keep going back a lot because it used up what was moist very quickly. But that's a good way to get some thick goopiness. The watercolor markers were nice because once you laid them down, you could get very nice color. I wound up like scribbling it a lot onto the tape and then picking that up if I didn't want as intense of a color. And I did find that you had to moisten it pretty quickly or else it could like put a markery stain on the paper, or make sure you put it down on a wet area. So that was an experience. The paper I really, really liked though. It's super thick paper. The third painting I wound up doing was a negative painting, which is a process that is really fun if you can get it to work right, and I'll get into at some point. I encourage you to Google it, because it's a good, I have no idea what I'm doing kind of technique to play with watercolor things, and these materials are great for it. I just made some terrible color decisions. But the paper is really, really thick, very, very almost soft, and dealt with a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, isn't it beautiful? So with negative painting, you paint in layers, and it's supposed to have this really cool atmospheric perspective kind of thing going on, where things that are close to you are lighter, and then like things get darker and darker, and a lot of the time it's done with florals, and I thought, I'll do it with ocean dinosaurs. And it turned out so poopy because I got impatient and didn't take the time to continue to layer and layer and layer like I should have, because this is the third time I used the materials, and I was impatient and I was bored, and this monstrosity is what we got. Here's the first piece, which I enjoyed, but it turned out pretty poopy, and the completed mermaid one, which turned out super cute, and I really like it. And that's all we got. So why is there still a couple minutes left in this video? My husband and I recently got a car, and we've been driving around, and I've been taking recordings of the beautiful Swedish vistas, and I thought some of you might enjoy. It's really pretty. The flowers are beautiful. I live in the southern part of Sweden, and one of their big exports is canola oil, and if you didn't know, canola oil comes from these beautiful bright yellow flowers, and to create enough to farm them, you have to have a lot of them. So there's just beautiful fields of yellow with giant spinning windmills in the background, and the hills, and Sweden's just so green to begin with, and historical barns and buildings, and it's pretty. I hope you enjoy this a little bit. It's not what I normally post, but I'm gonna get to that. There is a lot going on in the world right now, and people are without jobs, people are without homes, people are without care, and everyone's stressed out, everyone's anxious, everyone doesn't know what's going to happen. And different parts of the world are handling things in very different ways. I myself am still going to work in a crowded school building every day with hundreds of people and extra hand washing. But I'm an essential worker, and Sweden has decreed that primary schools need to stay open, so I continue to go to work. And what's happened is I've started to feel like all the social distancing and things that are happening in the rest of the world, and even back home in Texas, almost aren't happening. And if I don't feel like that, I feel like I'm doing something wrong by continuing to go to work every day, because shouldn't I be doing what everyone else is? And it's put a lot of pressure on me. Not to mention all of the commercials and ads and things that are telling me that, oh, I should be doing all these wonderful creative things now that I'm locked up in my house all day. I have nothing better to do but create and learn and grow. And I feel like I'm missing out on that as well. Or I'm not doing enough. Like, even though I'm still working, I should be doing all of those things. And the point I want to get to, guys, is you don't have to. You can't expect yourself to deal with trauma and being scared and anxious all the time and make use of this great gift of time you've been given. And this is coming from someone who hasn't been given this extra time. You need to let yourself deal with things. It's okay to not take advantage of all of this time. It's fine. It's also fine to take advantage of this time. You are allowed to feel the feelings you're feeling right now. And that sounds redundant, but I hope you know what I mean. You are relevant, and your feelings are warranted. The world keeps spinning, things keep going. We're gonna get through this. The world's gonna be different. Don't kid yourself. There's no going back to the way things were. This is gonna affect education. This is going to affect welfare. This is going to affect restaurants. It's going to affect things for a long time. But things keep moving forward. Things will open again. There might be new rules, and some things might not open. That's going to be sad, but it's going to happen. But things will continue. And we'll make it through this. And I'm going to stop preaching and let you enjoy the rest of this beautiful Swedish afternoon. Take care of yourself, guys. Before I let you go entirely, I want to take a moment to thank my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for putting up with me through all of this nonsense, and I hope every single one of you is doing great. Or at least doing fine. Thank you, and bye.